And the next thing I need to do is really add the fullness to the top. So what I'm going to do, just to make it really clear where my grain line is, because I have these other vertical lines here, is I'm going to draw my grain line in black, just so you can see it. And then I'll go over it later once I get it on brown paper. So that one's my grain line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the center of my ruler on my grain line. So I have a line 1 inch to the left and 1 inch to the right of my grain line. So 1 inch to the left and 1 inch to the right, or 1 inch to the front and 1 inch to the back. And then I'm going to go another inch over from there, so 2 inches away from the grain line, and draw another one. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So now, maybe I should do those in red or something different. Red is going to be meaningful. Ooh, green. Just so that they're easier to see. Hopefully. These are going to be my slash lines. And I'm not going to slash all the way to the bottom of the sleeve. I'm just going to slash up to it. Kind of like we did when we were manipulating the darts out, how we were slashing up to but not through the pivot point. I'm going to do the same thing here. And then I'm going to spread out the top and I'm going to tape it down to the brown paper. So as long as I know I'm going to do that, I might as well start prepping my brown paper. So what I'll do is I'll draw a grain line. I just need to make sure that I have lots of space around my sleeve, because as I slash it, it's going to open up at the top and spread downwards. So I need some space down there, and I need space on the sides for seam allowance, because that's what I'm going to do eventually. So it looks like this might be a good spot. Draw my grain line. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up spreading my sleeve and opening up each one of those slices by 5/8 of an inch. So my first slice is going to be right on the grain line, and I'm going to need 5/8 of an inch on each side of the grain line. So half of 5/8 on one side, which I think is 5/16, and half of 5/8 on the other side. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5/16. And that's going to be my first tape down spot. So I'm going to cut through the grain line all the way to the bottom of the sleeve, but not through it. So I leave a little hinge. And then through that 1 inch mark that I drew on the other side, all the way down to the bottom, but not through it. And then another one, all the way down, but not through it.
I'm sorry, what was that measurement? That was 5/8?
So over here, I'm going to spread it a total of 5/8.
Okay.
So I want half of 5/8 on each side of the grain line.
Okay, cool.
And then I'm going to do that again with each of these other marks, but I don't have to spread half and half on either side of the grain line. I can just spread it apart 5/8. So I'll show you that.
It's kind of like we cut those darts out the last time.
Yeah. And we were transferring the dart to the hem of the skirt, and yeah, it's the exact same idea. So this is called slash and spread. So I'm going to make sure that the hem stays flat on the grain line right there, and then I'm going to slide that open, and then I'm going to tape my first little bit down, and then I'm going to slide the other half of the sleeve open. And if it starts to wrinkle on you, it might mean that, like at the hem where it's splitting open the bottom of the V, that just might mean that it's not cut close enough to the edge, because it should stay pretty flat. So then I'll go ahead and put a piece of tape down there. So now I just do that to the rest of my splits. So right here, I'm going to measure over 5/8, make a mark.
From the
So
Okay.
5/8 from this white edge, and I want to spread this white edge over 5/8. And then I'll tape that guy down. Make sure that my hem is flat and not wrinkly. And I need
Is
3.
it similar to kind of what we did with the skirt?
Yes, it's exactly the same principle. It's adding fullness.
Mhm.
So we're using slash and spread to add fullness. That is what they really call it. And I'm doing the same thing here. From the other edge of that white bit, I'm measuring out 5/8 of an inch and making a mark. And then make sure my hem is not wrinkling and that it's flat. And then tape that guy down. And then I do the exact same thing. This is the back of the sleeve. I'll do the exact same thing to the front of the sleeve. So I'll come over here, spread it out, 5/8 of an inch, make a mark. Bless you. And then I'm going to tape down the bottoms too.